Stars like Flomo and John were feeding and singing. Hundreds of people are dying every year, but you can be safe.
Check early, prevent cancer, save your life. We can all together cancel cancer.
This message is brought to you by the Liberian Cancer Society in partnership.
Very hard to host to the main show. So they don't want to host the
independent voice of Liberia. No allegiance to any political party, organization, institution, or individual. Freedom FM 87.9, your best choice.
Before the man call me back, now on the 18th, they more.
The same man now.
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go steal.
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now in a now, around about 8:30, the man called me. He said, "Oh, my man, I'll let you be there and call you by again."
So that time you go to work?
I go to work.
You do for your working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To go steal now?
No, I'm not go steal. I'm not go steal. I mean, I go to. Yeah. How you question me, man? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand, then you still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear?
Okay, that go now. I beg you, sorry.
I say.
When I call you in the night now.
When the man call me in the night, he asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the message you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to the
message you want to give you what?
Tea. How milk tea? How milk tea?
Oh, milk tea?
Yeah.
For you to drink?
With bread.
With bread?
3 pieces of real bread.
With egg inside?
With egg inside my butter. So when I carry it to the man, say, carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you must come back to the car.
So the food make you now, you carry now, so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the man, the man say, thank you. I say, okay. The man say, oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right. So one of my friend called me.
Yeah, the same man going to now?
Yeah, the same man.
The man say, one for you to go steal.
No, yeah. So when I go to the man, he say, clean the car. Then they are 2 now.
In the Jeep?
In the Jeep. Then they are 2.
A big Jeep?
Yeah. Black BG, photo G, yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all inside.
No, Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the whole town now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people that can come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you talk in the question, could I say when I move from here, I'll free? Could I say when I move from here, I'll free? You said one talk again. I wanted to mean a whole talk to you, but double in the question. Hi, not looking, hi, you looking, hi, looking. Then you want post and now more word again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to again. And said they call me to the office. I go explain.
I think it's been the minute you come together. You say you get a tea to the man. After you get a tea to the man, and you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I will not there.
Nobody, you getting very. You say asking you too much question. Hey, there's me things. Say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry. If you I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, that's why now.
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. That was sorry now. Sorry.
Say Ali, you take that. You take that.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take time
to explain.
Sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, your partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face, in 2018, build hundreds of pro housing units, and achieve on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors, and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I must report to you that we are leaving behind a better economy and adhering to the rule of law. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the Republic of Liberia.
Those who wrote the speech, in never inauguration day, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about the effort to bring a new regime. Then we sit down with happiness. We go to write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then you go there, I will tell you that nation, I will tell you US, I will bring welcome for you. Because you still welcome for you. I will tell you when I bring, when you come to the place.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders. Number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity. It concluded the complicity. Put into motion, and here I stand today. Matrix that still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense
to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brandon Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and our prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D-404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posted that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the special court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asks, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people sue us. The people laugh us. The government.
And you know, it always feels extremely exciting. It places smiles on our faces whenever God gives us another opportunity to interact with you, deeply seated behind these microphones, wearing bravery, determination, courage, and strength to engage all of you. So let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you. across the country. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on the Wednesday in the Republic of Liberia, broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Monrovia, particularly on Kerry Street, just in the heart of the nation's capital. Enough to talk about tonight. From the Ministry of Justice to a German businessman, what is happening? The Minister of Justice stands accused of manipulating the courts, manipulating the Liberia National Police investigation to draw up an indictment against a brother.
You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but they instead they delay. People suffer, no work, but people crying for hunger. Look. Your vision and your mission.
Oh yes, the conversation is on about Liberia's U.S. relationship.
Nothing.
The ANC vice chair has issued a clarification about possibilities of denying ANC political leader Alexander Cummings from contesting in the 2029 elections. All of these are on our agenda, our plate for tonight.
The people lie to us. The government betray us.
All of these are on our plate for tonight. This is the censorship. There were a number of social media posts today reporting that 41 lawmakers from the House of Representatives were holding a meeting at the Riverside Resort in the St. Paul Bridge area. Some were speculating that the intent of the meeting was to take a decision to remove the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We were able to establish contacts with some lawmakers who spoke to us on anonymity. They said, don't call my name. And so we're going to read some of the conversations we held today with some of those lawmakers who spoke to us on anonymity. But the accounts are different, or some may say conflicting in some instances and on some fronts. But whatever the case is, what I gathered today from all of the conversations is that things are not okay in the House of Representatives. Very shortly, we'll take a break from our partner, Crime Stopper Liberia. After this break, we'll come back to bring you all of the happenings across the country this week.
I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be saved. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
Thank you very much, Old Man Sam Sion. Junkies Morris. My name is Austin Junkies. Good. I almost said good morning to you.
Anyway, because of the light in here, you know the place is crystal sparkling, so that's why you're thinking that it's in the morning.
No, that's different reason.
Oh, that's different reason. Yeah. Good day, Austin, and welcome to all of our listeners. Those that are following us via the social media, you are welcome, and thanks for following. Share our live stream, and those following us on our online radio. Keep following those that are getting off via the radio, whatever means you are using. Welcome to the platform. This is Freedom Hard Talk here on Freedom FM 87.9. And tonight we'll be driving you through with a lot of talking points, like Austin said. And so basically, the Ministry of Justice being accused of blocking indictment, that would be a serious issue to dig deep into. So Austin, how was the day today? Tonight is ladies' night.
I mean, those of us who we get time for all that thing.
I know.
So, but those of you who will be celebrating or observing Ladies' Night tonight, will say we wish you all the best.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we wish you all. I think I should use this microphone for
No, I don't want you used to now.
this purpose. Okay, since I'm twisted on the side, but let's welcome all of you joining us tonight via our Facebook live feed, beginning with Venetia's Junior Bar, Alexa Moba, Bobby Gong, Saturday Wondu Wule, Mawata Bediti, Felicia Swain, all of you joining us tonight. Karim Kruma is joining us. Alaska P has joined us. Stanley Boso is following tonight. J. Isaac Wule Jr. has joined us from Louisiana Township. Stephen Fowler Jr. is watching tonight. Aliyu Kamara has joined us. Favor Morris is following. Jackson Lamar is joining the show tonight. Clarence Cordillon is following the show tonight as well. Rosetta Sonkali has joined us. Lua Tugbei is following. Rosetta Sonkali, Tyler Bowie, from Dupont Road, Prince, Bondo, Mali Fofana, Chelsea, Yaya Kuma, Bacchus Glay, Henry Abraham Famule, J. Augustus Help is also following. Richard Kume, Robert Singh Momo. It's good to have all of you joining the show tonight. Bakai Sai is watching from Cardwell, Benson Street. Mimi Adama El Fofana has joined us from Dixon Sibos District 16. B. Mountain Pai Senior is joining the show. Melvin Brown. Yeah, that's Doe Communities. Prince, the Prince of Doe Community. The man can come that whole area. Helena Wilson, welcome to the show. Philip Tamba is also following. Jerison Tukpa, Ibrahim Sharif, Anita Ross, all of you, Joe Mountain, Isaac Tour, Alexander Sega, Masale Ibrahim. Welcome to the show. Ibrahim Adesan, Masale. Okay, we recognize him already. Harris City.
As a tool.
Okay, we are Dennis. Some of the names are repeating.
Mhm.
Benedict Yanti, Rita Lane, Sinu is also following us. William Slibo Jr. from Sino, Juji Wonwe, Single Governor Fua, Mark Ziko, all of you, thanks for joining the show tonight. It's good to have all of you joining the show tonight. And let's move into the different issues. Junkies, I think you have that recording queue.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I want you guys to listen to somebody. Somebody I've started following of late. Yes. Let's listen to him. I'd like us to start with that. You want to use this, right?
Yeah.
you want the cable. I'm not too sure the cable will serve the purpose. These people can complain that it's low, it's low, it's low, it's low.
So
Okay,
it's
so
better we use the mark.
yeah, let's use the mark directly. Okay, you want to carry back small?
Yeah, sure.
That's the president of Botswana. It's still now.
Yeah. Let me just go back.
Okay, so that's the president of Botswana. He was elected in, he was inducted in November of 2024. Okay, I think we can.
That's the debate for me.
Okay.
So any politician who comes to me and tells me there's a problem, you're wasting my. I know the problem. I read, I engage with people. I don't live in heaven and visit here to come and then go back home in heaven. No, I live here. On this earth, I live here. I live this reality. I know it. I'm on intimate terms with it. So don't teach me what I already know. Let's engage on solutions, strategies to get us from where we are to where we ought to be. That is your job. That is your responsibility. If you have any purchase at all on being a leader, that's your job. What is your job? Not to tell us about problems. No. Your job is to solve the problems. Give us a solution. Let us debate solutions. Very important. And I urge you as you gather here today to focus your gaze firmly on strategy, on solutions. Because the strategy is the bridge between where we are and where we ought to be. Animated by a vision. And a vision, in the ultimate instance, is actually spiritual.
Okay, I think we can stop it there, Junkins. I don't know whether some of you got the message. Did you really? Did you get it?
Sure. His message, if I would just summarize, is to encourage those who were entrusted with public offices to work in line with benefiting the people who put them in those offices they are occupying.
Sure. So, practical governance.
Sure.
Now, if you listen to him, there were some key words he used. There are some key words he used. For example, he said that don't come to me with problem.
Mm-hmm.
He was speaking to his cabinet ministers.
I didn't put you there to come to me with problems, but solutions.
He was addressing his cabinet ministers. Say, don't come to me with problems. Don't come to me with complaints. Don't come to me with gossips. I don't need to hear complaints from you or problems from you. I need to hear solutions.
Mm-hmm. That's why you were placed there.
Then he went further to say, I do not live in heaven. He said, I do not live in heaven. I live here with you. I live here with the problems.
Mm-hmm.
I see the problems every day. I experience the problems every day. He said, I read a lot. That's the president of Botswana. He says, I read a lot. Duma Gideon Boko. He's a lawyer of over 2 decades experience before even becoming politician. Contested the first time, lost the election.
The second time lost the election. And then in 2024, he rallied opposition political parties to form a grand coalition called the Umbrella Democratic Congress in Botswana that won the election in 2024 and they got elected, inaugurated in November on the 1st. Why did we play this? I know you may be asking, but how is this relevant to us? The wisdom and the decisiveness and the boldness in this president, 56 years old.
You may stay young.
He says, I read every day. He says, I read a lot. It means he's telling his cabinet ministers that he is aware of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
He is aware of what is happening around him. So he does not need the Minister of Information to tell him what is happening around him. He does not need the Minister of Information to instruct all the Secret Service person to instruct the protocol officers around him not to give him access to radio to listen to news or talk shows. Gideon Boko says, I don't need you to tell me not to listen to radio. I don't need you to stop me from reading newspapers. Because I listen to radio, I read the newspapers, I read the editorials, I read the articles, I follow social media, I'm aware of what is happening. I listen to the concerns that come from the public on the different talk shows. So I'm already aware of the problems. Hence, I don't need you, Mr. Minister of Information, Mr. Legal Advisor, Mr. Minister of Justice, Mr. This and that. I don't need you to tell me the problems because I'm already aware, I'm already familiar with the problems. What I need from you is to find solutions to the problems. Don't come to me crying with problems. Don't come to me telling me about problems. This is the quality, the first quality of a leader that I personally look out for. A leader who has the capacity to be aware of his environment, of what is happening around him. A leader who does not need to be dictated to what to listen to, what to read, or whether to listen to radio stations or talk shows, or whether to read or not to read newspaper. Such a leader cannot attract me. No. So if you hear me, some of us saying regularly, I say to you, I do not have any fundamental problem with the Unity Party as a political institution, but I have a fundamental problem with the decision the UP took to select His Excellency President Joseph Yima Baka as standard bearer of the party in a primary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm clear about that because I have said repeatedly that the president, if elected, then the former vice president, then if elected president, his age and his medical deficiencies will not have allowed him to be in the position to understand his environment, to understand his surroundings. He wouldn't know what is happening around him because there will be people there telling him, Mr. President, do not listen to radio or do not listen to these other radio stations because they criticize you every day. They criticize your government. They disagree with your officials. Thinking that those leaders maybe give him the right advice, not knowing that those leaders or ministers do not want him to hear the truth that is happening in our country. Because if His Excellency the President listens to me tonight, he will hear us telling him that, Mr. President, there is a problem with the Minister of Justice versus a businessman. That a businessman is accusing your Minister of Justice of influencing a police investigation that is supposed to lead to an indictment.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do not want the president to hear. So they will tell the president, Mr. President, do not listen. If the president listens tonight, the president will hear her critiquing the performance of his government and his officials. The president will hear her talking about reading a statement, for example, from the ANC vice chair about the possibility of denying or disallowing Cummings from contesting. That president goes to bed alone with his wife. When all of the advisors shall have left, that president has conscience. As old as he may be, he will be able to have or initiate a conversation with his wife. The radio or the media platforms are platforms that enlightened the president on the good and the evil. The cabinet is a platform that enlightened the president only on the good. So it does not give the president the space. It does not open the corridor for the president to understand or read between the line between good and evil. All the president hears or all they update the president about is the good things that they think they are doing. But at times, when the president or the leader is allowed to hear some of these criticisms, it places him or her in the position to rationalize, to analyze critically before making decisions on national issues. There is a crisis, or I should not call it, I may not want to call it crisis, but there's a growing disagreement between NOCA, for example, and the LPRA. One group is saying you do not have any right to authorize reconnaissance in an oil for oil exploration unless that body is licensed. LPRA say I am the one responsible to license people for reconnaissance. NOCA said no, you do not have the authority. We have the authority. Senator Conner has written the Senate to intervene. The former Chief Justice Gloria Musu-Scott has come in to say, no, the Senate does not have that power, or oversight power does not extend to making administrative decisions for the executive. So you see the conflicts?
Mm-hmm.
The president is not having access to these conversations.
Sure.
Who gives which platform does the president use to have access to this information? This is the platform. We'll tell you what Amara Conner has said, along with Jonathan Borchard's segment. We'll be able to tell you what LPRA is saying. We'll be able to tell you what NOCA is saying, and be able to tell you what Councillor Scott, a lawyer, is saying. Because there are different comments. This is why it's important. But if the president could stand on his own and make decisions on his own, he doesn't need somebody to tell him not to listen to radio. He himself will take his radio and start tuning into listen to what is considered critical or opposition radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
He himself will be requesting what is considered critical or opposition newspapers to read, because he knows that there will be critical stories or commentaries or analysis being rendered on those platforms. Because he wants to be in the know of what the other people from the other side are saying about his governance and some of or all of his cabinet ministers. That's what they don't want.
Mm-hmm.
But this president from Botswana is telling his cabinet ministers, don't come to me with problems. I already know the problems. I live with the problems. I understand the problems. We put you there to find solution. In that recording, he went further to say, hey, we are living on borrowed time. We have just 5 years. The people only borrow us 5 years. They loan us 5 years. And we assured them, we presented them a manifesto. And we said we were going to deliver or achieve on these manifestos within 5 years. They didn't give us 6 years. We didn't tell them they should give us 5 years and give us another 5 years. We told them within 5 years we can solve these problems, and we presented the issues along with the solutions to them during the campaign. We must fix this country. We must fix these problems within 5 years. In our country, we're talking about 2029 already.
Mm-hmm.
When there is a 2026 before us.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone 2024. We've gone 2025. We have a 2026 before us. We are talking 2029. Gideon Boko is talking 5 years period because and acknowledging that the people only gave them 5 years, they are operating on borrowed time, boldness, sincerity, no deception, fairness, accuracy in his utterances,
service to the people,
about governance. That's how good leaders speak. That's how good leaders sound. That's how good leaders engage. The cabinet ministers first, the legislators, and the people they represent, because it is about the people. You already had your degrees. He went to Botswana School of Law, got his first degree, went to Harvard Law School, got his master in law.
the Mexican.
Oh, yes. And have been a law professor for over decades.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
grounded. He's grounded.
over 2 decades. So this is somebody, and then he have been in the National Assembly.
Wow.
Yes, and have been a long-standing
That means
opposition
he went through
leader.
the ranks and file.
A long-standing opposition leader also, before forming a grand coalition on the umbrella of Democratic Congress to unseat the ruling party that has never been defeated before in Botswana political history. This is the first time.
Because the vice president of Iakama took over. So they were just like
So this
one
is somebody
party.
who understands Botswana's problem and is engaging Botswana and its politicians and his cabinet ministers on the basis of the issues that he knows already. I said, don't come to me with problems. Oh, Jesus Christ, Mr. President, I wish you were listening tonight. You can be him. And we know you can be Gideon Bogo, but you can be you. That is, but the only way you can be you, that is, you must first allow yourself to be you, instead of allowing people to allow you to be you, or what they want you to be. The system is crumbling, Mr. President. It's challenge. It's challenge. We need men who have an understanding of the issues confronting the people on a daily basis to engage. Not people who will live in deception, work deception, talk deception on a daily basis and say and call it being intellectual. Yes, governance is not an intellectual thing.
Lala is intellectual. Intellectualism is truthfulness.
Yes. Governance is not an intellectual thing. It's a service of leadership, of sincerity, boldness. Leadership is one of my instructors can say, hey, consider leadership as a space giving you to, or an opportunity giving you to solve problems.
Sure.
It's an opportunity giving you to solve problems. Whether it's political leadership, whether it's corporate leadership, whether it's whatever student leadership, whatever the case is, it is just an opportunity giving you to solve or lead the process of solving problems. The problems could be complicated, the problems could be difficult, the problems could be easier, but it is a space or an opportunity giving you to solve problems. When you are not solving problems, but complaining about problems, you are not providing leadership. You are not providing leadership. It's important we emphasize these things because we have to start doing, we start doing comparative analysis and deep reflections, of what governance should be. Since we're now focusing on governance, then leaving the campaign mode and focusing on governance.
Yeah, until we get there.
Yes. I know some people around the president wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
But this is the hard fact. All is not well, Mr. President. People are still struggling to have access to pipe-borne water. And this is not a Joseph Boga problem. This is not a George Weah problem. This This has never been an Eddie Johnson Sirleaf problem. This has been a collective problem, a collective problem of all of us. We all have failed to a greater extent in this country. Bro, let's sit down and ask ourselves, politics aside, how come for the past 21 years,
since we got your serial peace,
2006, we experienced our first democratic election. From then, 12 years UP on Eddie, 6 years on CDC George Weah. Come to think about it, that's 18 years. Mr. Blocker has eaten already 2 years. That's 20 years, 6 months running. I would say 21 years running, and we cannot restore stable electricity to our nation's capital. But we are proud of ourselves to call ourselves leaders and former leaders. And we think all is well. And we think it's one person's problem. That's what we think. That is one person's problem. Eddie inherited the country as a mess. George Weah inherited a country that was on a path of transformation. With all of the failures Eddie experienced, she left a foundation, a system. She built a system. She started a foundation as a country from war. President Weah came, he didn't break one system down. He didn't destroy any system that was built. He didn't break down one infrastructure. He didn't cut water supply. People in West Point were not getting water and Weah cut it off. People in Mama Point were not getting water, stable and uninterrupted electricity, and Weah came and cut it off. In fact, Weah came and increased and expanded electricity from 2 counties to 9 counties. The entire Western region, they didn't have electricity when Weah became president. Today they have electricity straight to the border. They didn't have. Nima, Bonk, Margibi didn't have electricity today. Grand Bassa, the Southeast, Maryland, how you call it?
River G, Grand GS,
they all have electricity. So
yeah.
George Weah expanded there. You can't say he didn't do anything. You can't say he spoiled or destroyed the system. But the point I'm making tonight, how come 21 years running, we are still struggling to restore basic social services? The last time my friend Marty Cody did a post on Facebook and said, Liberia has not solved any problem. People have a problem with that. Then I went and said, all of you crying under this post, let's point to one problem
that have been solved.
Yes. Up to now, nobody can answer that question.
Because travel still persist.
Let's point to one. Let's identify one problem that has been solved since 2006. One problem.
We still divided.
We are still heavily divided.
So how we start putting ourselves together?
We are still a corrupt nation.
Solve problem.
We are still a corrupt nation. We are still divided on travel and political land. We still don't have stable electricity. We still don't have water supply. We still to just Central Moravia. Central Moravia alone. Just Central Moravia. 21 years, Central Moravia cannot have uninterrupted water supply for a good 1 month. And somebody think that's more Ali's problem. As if to say we've not had managing directors. Somebody think that's Mohammed Ano Kroma or Kamara, where last name said from LDC. Somebody think it's his problem. That we've not been able to restore electricity to our capital city 21 years running. It's because the system, the head of our country, over the years have brought around themselves individuals who did not care.
Who came with problems instead of coming with solutions.
As soon as you take them and put them around you as president, they think they are supposed to be president.
Yeah, because they see in the office of president.
So they start pursuing that individual political agenda. And their salaries cannot sustain their individual political agenda. The salaries cannot finance their individual political agenda. Therefore, they will resort to what? Stealing or conniving or conspiring to steal state resources at the expense of the reputation of the president, placing the president in a difficult position to take drastic actions because they are his boss and his girls. President Sirleaf admitted that she could not fight corruption, that she failed in fighting corruption because the country is small. She said that on the record. The country is small. Everybody knows everybody. She made reference to Auntie Jenny in that interview. You know, you go, you want to fight corruption, Auntie Jenny.
Auntie Jenny say,
grandson. So all these things were problems for us fighting corruption. President said, you said that. President, we integrated that.
Junkie more brother than there.
Today, I see our friends from the UP acting like they were never in power before, when some of them were deputy ministers, assistant ministers, heads of and managing directors, honor Joseph Braga and Eddie and Braga when they were president and vice president. Problems that they did not solve 12 years.
Yeah.
Today they acting like we are everything, and they are the ones
who can face it in 6 years time.
6 years.
How ironical.
This is the essence of the radio, the talk shows, to enlighten you, the voters. So nobody should come here and tell you this is this person's problem. No, we are not ready yet for transformation. Other countries are moving forward. Botswana, 1966, I think, gain your independence. Botswana, 1966. We gain our independence since 1847. Botswana has never, yes, we can say, you want to argue, you 147 days here, right? 170, sorry. 1847 we gain independence. We're 177 years old. 79 years old. And then, since Botswana gained independence, he's never experienced interruption, democratic interruption. Today, Botswana is the highest referenced when it comes to sustainable, shareable, durable democracy in Africa. Say Botswana. Economic reform. She has one of the lowest corruption rate in Africa and in the world. Yes. This president we're talking about, Gideon Bogo, is the sixth president of Botswana. From 1966, they've had 6 presidents. But they've never experienced democratic interruptions. They have a solid democracy, a cohesive democracy. And a literate society. They've always had peaceful elections, peaceful transitions. And mind you, the resources we have here, Botswana does not have it. Botswana is heavily, her entire economy is heavily reliant on diamond. For us, we have diversity here. We have gold, we have diamond, we have rubber, we have timber, we have a lot of stuff here. Natural resources. Botswana heavily reliant on diamond. When we make these references, we try to caution you that it can't always be about politics. It has to transition at a particular point to governance with a strong and decisive focus on governance. This is how we grow our country. This is how we progress as a nation. The politics time will always come, will always be available. We will play the politics decisively too. But when it's time for governance, we engage our leaders. That's why we're cautioning Mr. Braga tonight. And all those listening to us tonight. Mr. Parker has to stand up. See the time we wasted removing speaker, removing the person for any job, fighting another person on the side, going on the other side. We still
won't waste another time.
Wasting time. Diverting our attention from governance.
Forget another 3 more years.
The men stay in Capitol Building fighting to remove another speaker or another deputy speaker. That's all we know in this country. Radical political engagements.
When you get set for governance?
Yes. When do you settle down? That's a very serious question. Mm-hmm. When do you settle down for governance? When do you start governing in a peaceful environment?
When you are just at each other's
3 years, you're still fighting. 68 to 70% of the government's attention has been on fighting. Inside UP, there's a fight. Outside UP in the country, there is a divided country. Inside Capitol Building, a fight. Inside the Senate, everybody doing carpool friendship in the Senate.
Yeah.
That's what we see. So when do you settle down? When do you settle down and start to engage into governing this country? In the executive, NOCA and LPRA fighting.
Yeah.
For authority. When do you stop all these fights?
When the laws are clear.
If the laws are not clear, you go to the court.
You go to the court and the court better information.
If the two executive institutions are having conflicting understanding of the law, what do you
do? The court will make it clear.
The Ministry of Justice.
Yes. Any law inconsistent with the Constitution that the court can interpret.
So since the two entities are having issue, you run to the Ministry of Justice. The Minister of Justice will interpret the laws and give you and send its interpretation to the president, and the president will act on the minister's interpretation. If you're displeased with the minister's interpretation,
you file a bill of information
to the court.
Easy as that.
Instead of coming out in the public, we see two entities with young people engaged in, disagreement about who's in charge, who is supposed to be in charge, and when do we?
Just ridiculing our democracy, my man.
Yes. It does not settle right for us as a country. It speaks low, very low of us. We can conclude on this matter. Another conversation about the U.S.-Liberia-U.S. relationship. You know, when good news comes from the U.S. about Liberia, they're not the government. They're not Joseph Boakai and the government. When bad news comes, that the government, they're not the government responsible. The previous government that was there. That's how we rationalize in this country. Today, a list of African countries have been published or released by the U.S. State Department as countries that will be providing windows, for its visa processing. And all of our neighboring countries, immediate neighbors, are not on the list. Guinea is not on the list.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Sierra Leone is not on the list. I think Abidjan is there. Yeah, I think Abidjan is there. So Sierra Leone, our immediate neighbors,
I think a governance issue now.
Yes.
Sierra Leone and Guinea, Sierra Leone president is still under the U.S. State Department sanction.
So we have all of these things happening. Yes, in my mind, this is a good news that Liberia is not placed there because everybody wants to go to America.
Yeah, it's good for us.
We're trading.
Mm-hmm.
We are trading. We are importing from America. There are people exporting goods to America, food.
Yeah, dry boni and other things, rare oil, tobacco oil, everything going.
So people have started traveling now along with their goods and all of that to the U.S. Mm-hmm. People say that continues to Liberia. They have to.
Yes, sir.
They have to follow their goods and go back. And to come and go, you need to go.
Yeah, you got to sell it, finish before going back. Yeah.
So you don't want a situation where you have to go to Togo or to go to Abidjan to acquire U.S. visa. You come back to Liberia before you leave and all these kind of things. So it's a good sign. It's a good step. A good sign for our country. That's progress. Imagine how many Liberians come to this country back to back, and you have to go to Abidjan to process for visa to go to America. There are European embassies that are not yet. We have to go to. You want to travel to Europe, you have to go to Abidjan.
President Dakar, Abidjan.
That's extra breading. I remember we spent 2 or 3 days in Abidjan just to process our for interview and processing to go to Europe. That's imagine how much we had to spend on accommodation, feeding, and all of that. Because you say we can open
You
a
can
window.
you can fire from here straight
Yeah.
there
They can open a window in Liberia.
because there are issues.
So imagine the US are also closed our windows in Liberia. Liberians travel the most to the US, the Europe, and China. So imagine 2 major routes, destinations, or corridors close the windows in your country. And you know what? There's also an economic benefit to this. Because imagine travelers from Sierra Leone, travelers from
Guinea, they will have to use
Liberia.
So it gives Liberia the advantageous position in that.
They have to come here for
Right.
to process that visa, and there are some Guineans and Sierra Leoneans who may not want to go to Abidjan. There are some from Mali who not want to go to Abidjan. There are some from other countries, African countries, who may not want to go to Abidjan. They will choose to come. They will prefer coming to Liberia. They will start looking at cost of living and all of that.
Yeah.
So they may choose to come to Liberia, stay in the guest houses here, stay in the hotels here, buy Liberian food here or Liberian DJs here. By that,
Spend low and achieve what they want to achieve.
by that Liberian, and some of them want to go and experience our beaches, our tourism sites, and all of that.
Yeah.
They will pay to enter. They will pay for different fees and things. It contributes to our economy. And
I
small
think the
businesses-
National Tourism Authority
Sure.
too will also be.
Yeah, so it's a
getting
good
some-
news. It's a good news. It's a good. That's not a bad news. It's a good news, and that's something we must celebrate. That's something we need to celebrate. So let's go into other stuff, bro. You saw? Did you see? The quotation from the Minister of Information.
Yeah. The guy is very controversial. Austin, when I saw it, it was just looking. It was just looking funny to me that this guy will not change and just continue to proceed the same way. And yesterday, mind you, if you remembered, Bwaka Jaliba was making comparative analysis between the CDC campaign team and that of the Unity Party campaign team. And that includes Mr. Minister Jeremy Pia, because he was a member of the Unity Party campaign team. And this is a man who is bent on raining insults, talking down on Liberians.
So he said.
He says, if I were to ask you to line up 5 drums here, and you fill 3 of those drums with fuel oil, gasoline, or water, and you leave 2 empty, which one you think will make the largest noise? Empty drums make the most noise. Jeremy Matthew Pia, Minister of Information Republic of Liberia.
So he was responding to
us
a question. No, not me. Responding that he said. Sorry, I the other people. Not me. People might say, my side able to sound sarcastic, better than
and
all of
we
those.
don't want talking now, so that we don't want his
so
responding to.
So the analogy is that those critiquing the performance of the government, those who are chastising the government, those who are checkmating the performance of the government and the officials attached thereto are making noise.
Yes.
Right? They are noise makers.
They are empty drums.
All the things we're saying, we are noise makers. We are
Empty
making
drums.
noise. That's what it means.
Sure.
We say to Minister Pia, no problem. At least 3 years ago, or a little below 3 years ago, they were noise makers too.
Yeah, I think they were empty drums also.
Okay. You say when you're pointing your one finger,
boomerang.
you say when you're pointing your one finger to somebody,
The others are pointing back at
to you. So a couple of years ago, they were
empty drums.
They were empty drums.
Today they are filled drums.
The people who were calling themselves political advocates for good governance, those who were champions of change a few years ago, that nobody branded as empty drums. Today are referring to others as empty drums, as the best way, the most reasonable way, the most comfortable way, the most intelligent way, the most mature way to respond to critics. When Mr. Barker speaks or responds to critics, he uses a dog analogy. The information minister comes, he calls them empty drums.
And empty.
The other person comes and calls Barker deliver rest and calls them last speakers and low thinkers and man causers. Yes. Guess what? A few years from now, some of you will be considered empty jumps. Imagine about that empty jump today.
I think you are right. You are right.
And today you can call about an empty jump.
Oh, but us, you know the list.
Do you know how many empty jumps we have now?
So, Prophet Kida.
Prophet Kida is an empty jump now.
Oh God.
So there are a few empty jumps around as we speak. A few. Samuel Johnson.
Oh.
And he's an empty. Yeah, he's there.
In there too.
Oh yes. Samuel Johnson said you will not bend down low for a job. He's an empty jump.
They better run away.
Oh yes. An empty jump. There will soon be more empty jumps. Some of you may go for 6 years. Some of you may not succeed going for 6 years in power. And you may not get another job. You may turn to a critic. And others will start calling you empty jumps. You see, during the CDC government, I remember criticizing a picture that surfaced on Facebook. And some of our colleagues within our ranks then reached out with anger why we had to critique the picture. And today, one of the persons and I were cool like that, but not too.
Yeah,
because yes,
you own a distance, you own a distance.
Remember our picture surface. That's what we say. We are just we are a challenge. We are a society of challenge politicians, of challenge leaders, immature leaders. We don't reflect. We don't reflect. We don't consider our past, our history, where we've come from as a country. There's a picture that surfaced under the CDC government with officials of the government. They had a hand and mouth. Yeah, video. Eugene Nangwe was on that picture.
Yeah.
Samuel Toh was on that picture, and somebody else was on that picture. They say, "You're shut up."
You're shut up.
At the time, Jerry Dime were empty jumps.
They were loud.
So the CDC folks were telling you, "You're shut up." Today, those of us who are critics of the government, reasonable critics, in fact, harmless critics of the government, we are being referred to or branded as empty jumps now. We were telling them to shut up, right? Now they're calling us empty jumps.
Empty jump.
Tomorrow, the government in charge will find names for them.
Yes, it will change from shutting up.
When you hear
to
Liberians politicians talking about change, and you think the change is to change your country or transform your society,
change their lives.
No, it's to change their lives. It's to change the government, to change the people that are in power.
Put new people there.
Thank you. Not necessarily to change the system, to change the way of doing things, to change the attitudes of government officials, to respect the system, not to respect the laws. It's just to take the old people out, put the new people there, to continue violating the laws, to continue disrespecting opposition, to continue disrespecting critics, to continue disrespecting the citizens, to continue beating on them, to continue everything. Nothing significantly will change. The only thing that will significantly change is that those in power, in positions, will be replaced with a new breed of people. That's all change. Nothing significant. Our relationship with the US was not sour. So what has changed?
It wasn't tight.
Our relationship with the European Union was never sour. Our relationship with international, multinational organizations were not sour. The IMF in fact had an office here at Central Bank working here, helping us to reform our system. I did not stay here. The World Bank. So nothing. What has significantly changed about the system? Georgia did not remove speaker.
No.
Yeah, a speaker has been removed. Another one is on a threat to be removed. Georgia government, a chief justice was impeached. City honors Barack government, a speaker is impeached.
A representative is expelled.
A representative is expelled
for freedom of expression.
Yes. Prophet Key goes to jail for freedom of speech.
Political prisoner.
Let's identify what has significantly changed about the system and the attitudes of our officials, the way of doing things. Let's assess and see what has significantly changed about the way we do things, the way we govern, our approach to governance. What has changed?
I think also what has changed, the one looking worse.
Human beings have only shifted. No, the way of doing things remain the same. Just that maybe one group is doing it more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The other group that did it, that's all. Maybe one group, they didn't put anybody in jail. The other group put somebody in jail. But now other group threatening to beat somebody too. And I can't also on video threatening to beat you cause Joey.
Yeah.
So it's just like maybe now I say what has significantly changed is that we took the old people from there and put new people there.
We're just in a vicious cycle.
Yes. So when I hear people try to shift the blame on George Weah, I sit down and feel for our country. I say, do these guys really understand what governance should be about? Everybody wants us to think or believe that our problem as a country is a George Weah's thing or it's a CDC's thing. Again, he's the Minister of Information. If the government is doing a lot of things, let's point to it. Let's see what the government, what has the Ministry of Information communicated as an achievement of the government? We spend more time responding and insulting and being combative or combating people who perceive to be critics, not necessarily the opposition, because there are critics of the government who are not opposition to the government. We spend all of our time and we think we're going anywhere. And you think the attack of George Weah is going to stop him from contesting in 2029 or is going to stop him from winning if the Liberian people decide to carry him back? No. Let's not waste our time. Let's stop wasting our time. Even if the US comes out and say, Mr. Weah, we are calling you not to contest, and Mr. Weah says, I will defy the US to contest. If Liberians want to vote for him, Liberians will still vote him in power. It will left for him to say, I have a relationship with the US. I do not want to contest. Initially, that was that comment. Oh, the American people, I told Joey not to contest. So that's the worst case reference. We could reference. The people will elect a new president in 2029 on the basis of their comfort. Who they see comfortable to them. If the people believe that Junkins Morris, they are comfortable with making Junkins Morris representative for district number 7, they are going to troop in their numbers to vote Junkins Morris, regardless of who sounds so eloquent on the radio, or regardless of who does the highest amount of Facebook posts in District 7. The people will go out to vote Junkins Morris because they feel comfortable with him. Not necessarily who insults the most. Not necessarily who spends the most money. I gave you an analogy. We saw the election with Clemency, you and Geraldine Dosheri.
Yeah, and Geraldine Dosheri.
The first thing, no ruling party has won more since 2005 in our democratic history. Look at our democratic credentials from 2006.
With the exception of CDC.
No ruling party. No, I mean to be ruling party.
Yeah, Sir Joseph.
Oh yes, Sir Joseph won Monserrado. No, he was not a ruling party.
The ruling party.
No, it was Tomofala election.
Sir Joseph replenished at that time the sitting President Weah.
No, that was not our government, man. Because we have President Weah.
When Weah became president, Sir Joseph replaced him.
Sir Joseph was elected representative in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was a by-election that he got elected senator.
2018,
yes.
There was a by-election in his district with this guy, John Weah.
John Weah, sure. Yeah, so he got elected.
So he got elected on the CDC ticket.
As a senator.
Replacing President George Weah, who was sitting as president.
Yeah, so President Weah was already elected in 2017.
So only Sir Joseph
and the
CDC broke that record.
Ruling party, Kennedy won election.
Since then.
But that was rare.
Mm-hmm.
That was rare. Even at that, people will tell you, say, significantly, Sir Joseph was already a popular person in Colorado. He has done a lot of work on his own and all of that.
And
even though he used
CC
cloud and things. Yes, you know, the Ebola thing was first in 2014 and something. So that memory was still with them. We can carry Sir Joseph and all that. But that was a rare situation. But to see ruling party at the presidential election, at the presidential level winning most rather is difficult. Clemency, you will have money. Even the CDC in 20 during the election or 2009. Right? Clemency, you will have more money to spend on election than even this whole CDC put together in 2009.
CDC never had rack.
And he contested on the United Party ticket.
Yeah.
As a ruling party. They beat him.
They're being Bao.
Yes.
The number, it was too much.
2014 King, Ramos Sharif, the son of the president. The son of the president on the ballot against George Weah. So this country is a different thing. So we still start thinking, because we are ruling party, because we have the money, so it gives you leverage. You saw what happened in 2019 and 2020 with Polita Weah, Thomas Fala, and Darius Dillon. We saw what happened. The ruling party lost two successive elections. 2019 we brought somebody on board, Paul Polita there. They don't be here. 2020 they don't come back. Put Thomas Fala there. Is it an ATM machine will eat the money? They be here. I mean, they don't be here again. They don't just like PSG and Real Madrid. Yeah, winning Champions League back to back.
Yeah.
They may won Champions League back to back. They may won the Champions League in 2019. You won the Champions League in 2020.
Yeah, they don't bring another record back to back. Yeah, sure. Back to back.
With a ruling party.
Yeah, he pulled the numbers twice.
And guess who was the campaign chair? Sir Joseph.
Yeah.
Sir Joseph was campaign chair. Who won?
Yeah.
Who began the first opposition? I mean, ruling party
to
win most. He was campaign chair for that election with Fala, and they don't even say if they don't win the election, you will resign as senator.
He didn't resign.
They don't be. He didn't resign.
Sincerity.
I hint to that. I see you only around saying, he's not doing nothing for you. Anyway, that one
leave it for another day.
But we have to understand these contextual issues about politics, and that's not just restrict it to politics, but put it in the context of governance. Because once you place these actions, these different political actions in the context of governance, then we start talking the issues that existed, the issues that are before us. Those are the different issues. Do you think the people they don't want Champions League back to back against Polita and Tomo Fala because they don't was just too popular? No. Or because he had money? Fala was ATM machine. What happened? They whipping in your own district. You were represented in your district. They whipping. They whipping.
His district was won by DeLong.
He was an incumbent representative
of that district,
contesting to be senator.
And he was flogged. I think he also precipitated his going to Lofa.
Sure, because he knew
it was an early warning sign.
So let's be careful how we wear arrogance and thinking is there's supposed to we are now going to come back to power. It means that 2%. Yeah. That's what power can do. That's what power does. So let's read that stuff from the Minister of Justice.
The Minister of Justice response.
Yeah, let's read the first. Let's read Armstrong allegation first.
Allegation, okay.
Since it's long, you just read Armstrong allegation. If you start tongue twisting or winding down any day, I'll pick up from there. And then when I start, you'll pick up from there because it's an elaborate statement. All two, they are elaborate statements. You see the Armstrong?
Yes, so he's here. British investor alleges Justice Minister's Masonic ties influenced indictment of Bomi administrative officer Shema. Calls for an independent prosecutor are intensifying as the dispute deepens over money machinery valued at US $2.5 million that was allegedly strapped and sold for US $66,500 in Saki Township, Bomi County. A British investor embroiled in a US $2.5 million money equipment dispute in Bomi County has escalated his allegations against Justice Minister Councillor Oswald Twe, claiming that Masonic affiliations compromised the handling of the case. Hence, Armstrong, whose heavy-duty mining equipment was allegedly scrapped and sold illegally last year, said on Monday, June 1st, that Justice Minister Oswald Twe currently serves as a deputy Grand Master within the Masonic Order. Armstrong further alleged that Bomi County Administrative Officer Alfonso M. Sherman, the official indicted for the sale, is also a member of what Armstrong termed the Grand Masonic craft. Armstrong argues that the purported ties between Twe and Sherman raised questions of impartiality in the prosecution process. He is now calling for the case to be transferred to an independent prosecutor and for the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, to review the Ministry of Justice involvement. The equipment dispute. According to court records, Armstrong purchased the machinery from Euro Logging Company dated on the former interim mining operations in Saki Township, Bomi County. The equipment was valued at US $2.5 million. On April 12, 2022, Criminal Court C in Monserrado County previously entered a final judgment affirming Armstrong's lawful ownership of the machinery following a prolonged dispute with local residents. The case had been transferred from Bomi's 11th Judicial Circuit Court due to concerns of local prejudice against Armstrong. The citizens of Saki Township filed a bill of information challenging the judgment of His Honor Judge Blamo Dixon of Criminal Court C, awarding the lawful ownership of machinery to Armstrong. Their bill of information was heard and subsequently denied on June 23, 2023. In November of 2025, the 11th Judicial Circuit Court reaffirmed the investors' legal ownership of the machinery after the Office of Superintendent Miata Dolly imposed a stay order halting removal of the equipment from Saki Township. Despite these rulings, Armstrong alleges that Sherman illegally scrapped and sold the equipment for US $66,500 to scrap dealer Fatu Kane. Kane has also been charged in absentia, meaning she was charged in her absence. Following Armstrong's October 13, 2025 complaint, the Liberia National Police Bomi County Detachment investigated the case, resulting in Sherman's arrest on a warrant from the Tottenham City Court. However, Armstrong alleges that Justice Minister Twe has since blocked the indictment due to their alleged Masonic ties. At Monday's press conference, Armstrong referenced a November 7, 2025 letter from Minister Twe calling a conference at the Ministry of Justice. He said the letter accused him of constantly harassing Bomi County Superintendent and residents. He alleged that at the November 15 conference, Assistant Minister for Litigation, Councillor Jerry D.K. Galawolo urged him to
compromise the case. The exchange, Armstrong said, took place in front of Shemo, Superintendent Miata Dolly, and others, despite the ministry's rule representing him as complainant throughout the case, including in Todman City Court. These connections compromise the integrity of the indictment process, Armstrong said. He maintains that Sherman's actions were taken with full knowledge of the Monserrato Court's judgment. Responses pending. The Ministry of Justice has not responded to requests for comment on Armstrong's latest allegations. Minister Oswald Toye was unavailable for comment. Okay. Alfonso M. Sherman has now publicly addressed the indictment or the allegations regarding Masonic membership. His legal team has not issued a statement. The Grand Lodge of Liberia has not commented on the claims concerning its alleged members. Yes, very difficult to comment. Legal and oversight content. The Justice Ministry oversees public prosecutions in Liberia. Allegations of conflict of interest involving senior officials are typically referred to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission or to the Grievance and Ethics Committee of the Supreme Court. Armstrong said he will continue to pursue recovery of the equipment's value through both criminal and civil actions. The claims made by Hans Armstrong regarding Mr. Oswald Toye's alleged Masonic position and influence over the indictment are unverified allegations. The individuals named have not responded to these specific claims at the time of the publication. All persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
So the
I see.
So the Minister of Justice,
okay.
That's the Minister of Justice. The Minister of Justice, I see you're big man in that thing. So
deputy, okay.
I don't know whether he's deputy or not. I know he's a one time he's a the green. So I don't know how you be with grandmaster in Canada. I don't know.
So almost like president, you run for vice president.
And I even won't confirm it.
That was you there.
Yeah. But on today, the Ministry of Justice issued a long release. I think it's a 3-page. So let's read what the Ministry of Justice has said. The Ministry of Justice responds to false and misleading allegations regarding the Hans Armstrong matter. The Ministry of Justice has taken note of recent false, misleading, and highly unfortunate allegations being circulated on social media and through certain media platforms concerning the matter involving Mr. Hans Armstrong and heavy-duty mining equipment located in Sakitan, Senja District, Bomi County, Republic of Liberia. The ministry categorically and unequivocally rejects any claim that the Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Councillor Natu Oswald Toye Sr., has stored justice, interfered with the indictment of any person, protected any accused individual, or compromised the prosecution of this matter for personal, fraternal, social, political, or any other improper reason. These allegations are untrue, unsupported, and inconsistent with the record. For the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Hans Armstrong has already obtained favorable rulings from the courts of Liberia. The courts have recognized his ownership interest in the equipment and have ruled in his favor in proceedings connected to this matter. That fact alone demonstrates that the justice system has not been shut against Mr. Armstrong. And it completely undermines the false suggestion that the Minister of Justice is storing justice or preventing Mr. Armstrong from obtaining legal redress. The ministry further clarifies that its recent involvement in this matter was not arbitrary On February 3rd, 2026, His Excellency Joseph Yiman Boaka Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, issued a directive to the Minister of Justice concerning the investigation and prosecution of the alleged unlawful destruction of private property in Bomi County. Pursuant to this presidential directive, the Minister of Justice transmitted the matter for appropriate prosecutorial action, and the County Attorney of Masurado County appointed a special prosecution team headed by Attorney John F. Dexter, Puyu, and Councillor Isaac B. Williams. The special prosecution team was mandated to assume prosecutorial responsibility for all criminal aspects of the matter, including investigation, oversight, review of evidence, preparation of indictments where warranted, and prosecution of related offenses in coordination with relevant law enforcement and judicial authorities. The team was further instructed to act independently, impartially, and strictly in accordance with the laws of the Republic of Liberia. Okay. So let's move to the next page. In it is therefore false to suggest. Oh, I think too small. It means zoom in. Okay, I'm trying to zoom this because okay. It is therefore false to suggest that the Minister of Justice personally controlled, manipulated, or obstructed the prosecutorial process. The special the special prosecution team conducted interviews, visited the relevant locations, reviewed court records, examined prior proceedings, gathered statements from persons of interest, and submitted an investigative report. Among other things, the report recognized that Mr. Hans Armstrong is the rightful owner of the equipment and that there have been no, sorry, there have been, I don't know. Let me read verbatim, meaning let me read as it is written here. If that mistake, you do not call you will confirm, correct the other mistake. That I read verbatim. Among other things, the report recognized that Mr. Hans Armstrong is the rightful owner of the equipment, and that there had been interference with his ability to fake possession of the SIM. Eh? Now how you reading there? Oh? And that there had been interference with his ability to fake possession of SIM.
Affirming that there was interference.
The report also made recommendations for further prosecutorial and judicial action. I need to read this again. Let me see. I think the report is quoting. Okay. The special prosecution team conducted interviews, visited the relevant locations, reviewed court records, examined prior proceedings, gathered statements from persons of interest, and submitted an investigative report. They said the Ministry of Justice now says, among other things, the report recognized that Mr. Hans Armstrong is the rightful owner of the equipment. One, and that the report also recognized that there had been interference with his ability to take possession of SIM. The report also made recommendations for further prosecutorial and judicial action. So there's no mistake. So the Ministry of Justice is
It's quoting a
confirming,
report and confirming
yes,
that there was
interference, or there were interferences with Mr. Armstrong's ability
to
to take
possess
ownership
his
of his
property.
property. These facts clearly show that the Ministry of Justice did not suppress Mr. Armstrong's complaint. To the contrary, the matter was elevated, investigated, and reported on pursuant to the directive of the President of Liberia. The ministry also notes that before the presidential directive was issued, based upon a complaint from Mr. Armstrong, ministry had already commenced an investigation of the matter. However, while that process was ongoing, Mr. Armstrong proceeded to present his complaint to the office of the president. Following the president's directive, the ministry acted accordingly and caused the matter to be handled through the prosecutorial channel mandated by the president. At no point did the Minister of Justice instruct any prosecutor to protect any accused person. At no point did the Minister of Justice direct that an indictment be blocked. At no point in time did the Minister of Justice interfere with the courts. Any statement suggesting otherwise is false. The ministry is particularly concerned that serious allegations are being made publicly without evidence and in a manner clearly calculated to damage public confidence in the justice system. The ministry respects the right of every citizen and resident to criticize public institutions. However, that right does not include the right to mislead the public, distort official action, or manufacture claims of misconduct where the record shows otherwise. The Minister of Justice is not above the law. No public official is above the law. If Mr. Armstrong or any other party believes that any court order has been violated, or that any public official has obstructed the enforcement of a court ruling, the courts of Liberia remain open. A party who believes that a court's judgment or mandate is being frustrated may pursue the appropriate legal remedies, including a bill of information or any other remedy available under Liberian law. Mr. Armstrong is represented by counsel, and the ministry believes that his counsel is fully aware of the proper legal procedures for seeking enforcement of court orders or challenging any perceived obstruction. These matters are properly addressed before the courts, not through social media propaganda. Mr. Joseph, where okay, so let's zoom the last page.
Yeah. The Ministry of Justice.
Okay, the last page. The ministry also reminds the public that criminal prosecution is governed by evidence and law, not public pressure. The ministry cannot and will not prosecute any person merely because there is public noise. Likewise, it cannot and will not refuse prosecution where credible evidence supports criminal action. Every decision must be based on the record, the law, and the prosecutorial judgment of the appropriate officers. The ministry remains committed to the rule of law, the protection of lawful investment, the independence of the courts, and accountability of all persons who violate the law. It also remains committed to ensuring that all parties, including Mr. Armstrong, received the protection of the laws of Liberia. However, the ministry will not allow false allegations to go unanswered. The attempt to portray the Minister of Justice as personally stalling justice is baseless and unfair. The record shows the opposite. The matter was brought under presidential mandate. Independent prosecutors were assigned. An investigation was conducted. The ownership rights of Mr. Armstrong were recognized, and recommendations were made for appropriate legal action. The ministry therefore calls on the public to disregard unfounded claims intended to create distrust in public institutions. The ministry encourages all parties to pursue their rights through lawful channels and to refrain from making statements that undermine ongoing legal processes or misrepresent the work of the justice system. The Ministry of Justice will continue to perform its duties without fear, favor, affection, or ill will, and in strict accordance with the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Liberia. Signed, Jutunu Wakori, Director of Press and Public Affairs, Ministry of Justice, Republic of Liberia. So these are the two statements from the two individuals. One group, the businessman Armstrong, who I've known for years from a distance. We've never met before. We never sat together before. But when I used to work at Prime FM, you know, he has his place.
We're close to
Yes.
Prime FM, before Prime FM.
Yeah, so also you see, the men are bought
The man regular ball.
The men are going to jail. I've been him go for different things. Yeah. He has always been into controversy.
Okay.
Oh yes, social controversy. One time something came out again and he was using sex, involving the sex scandal again, for sexual exploitation of Liberian girls and teenagers, and then
being a pedophile.
Yeah, he has always been into controversies. This time around, the other time it was LEC again, scoring issue again.
Yeah, scoring issue.
This time around, it's equipment, But on a serious note, Junkies, I don't know what you think about this. I think you will, I'll give you a chance to say what you think. And then I will close for me. I'll make a statement in or under 5 minutes, and then we can take calls. Since yesterday we didn't take calls, I know our audience was vexed with us.
Yeah.
So we can take at least make 10 minutes available.
Especially Man CC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Austin, what I see, I think he's from the analysis. I think he's being emotional because the first thing, the discussion is his property. The due process have already established that the property belongs to Mr. Hans Armstrong. There's no need that Mr. Hans Armstrong go about accusing people, the other person in Zobu, the other person that pastor, the other person that Satan worshiper, all those things, I don't think it matter. I think they were only intended, in my mind, to give a bad image to the minister, because if you would say the minister is stalling your legal possession of what you borrow your own money, and they report, even with all of the pieces of evidence, including your own expression, then it means that you are just picking bone with the minister of Mr. Hans Armstrong. So you have to let out the emotion, because the laws are not effectuated by emotions. The law does not consider feelings. The law does not consider how you think or friendship. The law is the law. The law is clear that you are the owner of the property. If somebody is starting that process, brother, Mr. Hans Armstrong, you have the same codes that you used to pursue your ownership of that property. Use the code and get redress from the court. Stop laying allegations on people, and when they try to get to you through the law, because their characters are being assassinated through this particular scam. If the property for you, go after it the legal way. Stop using somebody as a stool to give excuses, maybe when you are unable to get your property. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Is wrong. And he's the Minister of Justice of our country. That office will have to be protected and respected. You, as a foreigner, you come to the country, you have the laws to protect you. There's no need to go after our officials of government. I think that is disrespectful to the country and is wrong. You should refrain from that. And with the response from Jutun Kwali from the Ministry of Justice as the press director, I think it's comprehensive, it's very clear enough for everyone to see and hear that the Minister of Justice have acknowledged, the Ministry of Justice in its entirety have acknowledged that Mr. Hans Armstrong is the owner of that property, even though information gathered through the interviews showed or appeared that Mr. Armstrong was being denied some way, somehow, but the codes are there for you to use the code to get legal possession of your property. And Austin, well, before we go to the law, I came across this protestation, and I would want to tie it to the Ministry of Labor because it's important. These institutions, they help to lay the foundation, the groundwork for all citizens to be empowered to participate in government. The Liberia National Loading and Offloading Union, LILU, the laborers are protesting for change of leadership. And if the Ministry of Labor does not step in as fast as possible, I think it could go chaotic. So it is important that we bring it to the attention of the Ministry of Labor, because I even recorded that whole situation when they were protesting, and it is, I would say, elevating to the level that maybe it could be confrontational and violence could ensue. So on that basis, it will be prudent enough that the Ministry of Labor steps in and see to it that the right thing is done, because this institution now is not a personal institution. It is an institution that is an incorporation, and it has to be protected by the laws of our country. So the Liberia National Loading and Offloading Union, which is LILU, must be protected by the laws, and the Ministry of Justice will need to come in, and the Ministry of Labor will need to come in rather to see to it that they put an end to the conflict that is taking place. Because, mind you, Austin, this is an institution that have, based on my interview with some of the leaders there, that have done well in transforming a lot of young people. Some of the young people who were engaged with taking in drug, smoking kush around the community, they've been absorbed by the institution, and they are transforming little by little, because as they work with the institution, they get benefits that allow them to sustain themselves, and those working with the institution lay out rules and guidelines that make them to be constrained to change their behaviors and their attitudes so that they live in society. So it's important that the Ministry of Labor take you. These are also employments for Liberians, and they will need to be protected by the laws. And it is the Ministry of Labor that has the authority to step in and see to it that whatever conflict that is taking place at the level of the Liberia National Loading and Offloading Union, LILU, is settled so that young people live and earn for themselves, reduce crime rate, reduce the issue of brain drain, while young people are just leaving jobs when jobs are available and going to take drugs instead of working to earn for themselves and become responsible or support their children and their family. So it is important. That's why I decided that we have it as a talking point on the show tonight, that the Ministry of Labor steps in so that it does not turn violence. So,
Sure. Yeah. You see, John, I don't know. Please, we have to reach out to the two parties tomorrow. I have to reach out to the Ministry of Justice. I will try my best to reach out to the Ministry of Justice, particularly the Minister's office tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to go beyond just the two statements.
You're right.
And you have to reach out to Armstrong tomorrow.
Yeah,
Let's see what we can talk to him.
His office stay around him.
Yes, yeah, because there are two critical issues that are at bar, right? The Minister of Justice or the Ministry of Justice response has established legal ownership. Confirm legal ownership.
Confirm. That means
they say Armstrong
they
owns
deny
the
you,
property.
Armstrong. They deny you.
So the whole country needs to know that the Ministry of Justice has established legally that Armstrong legally owns the property. Armstrong has two allegations. That one, the property does not exist anymore.
It had been sold.
It had been scrapped.
And sold.
I don't know whether it had been.
No, the one he said.
Yes.
In his
So the property has
possession.
been scrapped by somebody. The ministry's statement did not speak to the scrapping of the property. It did not establish that the property was actually scrapped. It only established that he owns it. The question is, where is the
property
machine? Or where are the machines? Where are the machines? Because the statement established that yes, Armstrong owns the property that he's claiming to own.
Yeah.
But the question is, where is the machine? Because Armstrong also alleged that the machine has been scrapped by Amos. Under the protection and guidance of the superintendent of Bomi County, Madam Dolly. The ministry's statement did not also include that aspect. Because in my mind, the ministry's statement should have established not just ownership, but availability of the okay, he owns it. The question is the property or is the machine available? Because Armstrong directly accused Amos of scrapping, Alfonso of scrapping the machines. The ministry statement did not speak to that. Even though the ministry statement acknowledged that there were individuals dispatched on the ground, there were statements taken, and on the basis of the investigation, they established that Armstrong owns the property legally. In furtherance to that, the court has granted a rule granting legal ownership to Armstrong. The question is, where is the property? The statement did not say that. So, in all fairness, Honorable Minister, I think the statement fell short of that. I think the statement should have included that. And these are the basic questions I will be reaching out to them tomorrow to ask. I mean, yes. Next statement, it's clear that the minister has little or nothing to do in terms of interference because the court has already established your ownership, and the investigation has already established your ownership,
and the ministry
has accepted the investigation and acknowledged that you own the property. Mr. Minister, where is the property? Why didn't the investigation establish the location of the whereabouts of the property? It's possible also that the investigation, because that was just a summary of the findings from the investigation. So it is also possible that inclusive in the findings from the investigation, the properties may have been identified to have been scrapped or still existing, or scrapped and location for where the scrapped property is located may have been included or could be included in the investigation.
And he's also alleging that one Fanta
bought
the property. So on that basis, she was indicted in absentia.
Sure.
And the Ministry of Justice did not specify in the.
And some of the machine when say when yes scrap it, they go to take iron the no.
No.
The machine can be sitting on the
So that is
that scrap here
that scrap here, yeah. Because it's unmovable.
The person go buy it as scrap.
But it's still fresh. They did one or two touches again.
So these are basic. They don't have to speak to us on record, but we can sit down or we can have a conversation. We can do a questionnaire.
Yeah, that's the essence of our being here.
They could reach out to us, they could respond to us. Let's have a clear understanding so we don't, so we don't, so the public don't, so it doesn't sound biased of what's happening. Armstrong deserves his right. He has a lawyer too, he has a legal team, like the statement said. The Minister of Justice too is entitled to his reputation too, is in his integrity. And so all parties should be under obligation to protect the different legal rights and spaces of the two, of the parties involved.
Sure, you're right.
The superintendent is also involved with this.
The
We have to reach
superintendent,
out to her,
yes.
and then
So that we have a
yes,
clue.
so we can be able to have a conversation about this tomorrow. It's important, so we can't miss out on this tomorrow in our last edition of the show for the week. So let's take calls on the different
So
issues.
you can call us on 0776 104 104, 0886 500 104. And our diaspora callers can call us on our international line 0886, let's say plus 231 886 500 104, plus 231 886 500 104. This caller online one. Hello.
Good evening to you.
Hello?
Good evening to you.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm calling from district of Grand Bassa County, concerned like for Chelsea, coordinator for Grand Bassa County. Yeah, thank you for your show this evening, my brother. This country will finish. Richard Kunfela, he was the only giant in the house. But now he got to know that people not there. So for that reason, he crying now. He crying wolf. But what should you cry? You want to giant regime speaker, what should you cry? Now you not calling, what you do? After 2 or 3 hours, you reduce the minute salary for what? Thank you for your show, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay, thank you. Leave it there and go to line 2. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, where are you? Where are you calling on from?
Okay. Calling from East Island. My name is Sile Bashir.
Go ahead, quickly.
Yeah. Can I talk about the current issues more?
Go ahead. The what thing?
Current.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is my mother talking about it. We don't really know what's wrong with the current business. There are certain things we notice concerning about the current. Before the April day, that the current, they put the current on. 3 good days until the April days they pass. On Friday, the current is set on. And not even back until Saturday, they are finished. For that day, if I tell you, we can even get current country for Peace Island, coming really. We can even get current. So that 12. So that 10 o'clock when you go back, you will not see again the next day in the net. So we don't really know what the problem for the current year.
Okay. All right, thank you. We'll leave you there and go to this caller on line 3. Hello.
Yes, let me say good evening to you, my dear brother JJ, and good evening to one of my loyal and very brilliant archaeological brother, which is Osikawa.
Welcome, Poka Rama. The good Poka.
Prophetic journey of our time. For the recognition for the public, I'm Poka Rama. I joined you this evening from an unknown destination. What's up, Ozzy?
I'm good. Let's hear you. Yeah. I know.
Thank you for the hard work you do, and also the hard working family of the Creeders family. Well, the one thing actually drew my attention, I don't know whether asking you guys are very monitoring the situation of this
Hello. Oh, your salary, I don't be. Let's see your call, I don't be sterilized. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I have such a salary recommendation. The custom program, I get passed away the feed. The issue surrounding the custom program, it's very teaching.
Poka.
Yeah, Poka.
Yes.
Tonight we're discussing the issue with the Ministry of Justice and this Hans Armstrong situation, and also the expression from the Minister of Information, the situation with those protesting, and that of the ANC being maybe disqualified because of the 2% situation. So those are the talking points. Let's stick to that. Okay, poker round gone. Poker round gone. Okay, so we take this caller online. One. Hello.
Good evening to my two boys.
Yeah, man, big. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Okay, you junkies. Your name and night. You know, I follow the show, the talk show on the beginning to this time. So you have already name and night. At least I will not have details left on there. As everything you say, you know the rope that came to the put this parable. They said that the rope that came monkey or babu, they will also hang monkey. So the thief who was doing in our heart, that one more thing now, he said that he was also the person was supporting, but he know they were putting him up. You know, I want to say, when you live for the person, when you ready to move for all they almost said they put you up, they put you bill. When you get up, when you ready to fall, they take it, get break, they move for all they start, and then they start fall. So that as they was winning, so they see they get to what a man is there, Platicofa, that is still a vote are taking. So you must any for now to specular when he stay in our house. They are not the actual not for me there. We will sort of get this. Thank you for having me.
This caller online too. Hello. Hello. Go ahead. Go ahead quickly.
My name is Alvin Chile, and I call you for Soaking Demo Creek. Because we must come back, come to the straight to the issue. See, brother, thank you so much. And I want to say sorry for the progress of my boss.
Yeah, go to the point.
Yeah, to the point, see, man. They say the love of money is the root to all evils. And the Bible also says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And the Bible also says that the evil in the does live after he. Thank you very much. I rest my case.
Thank you.
We must come back, come to the now.
Thank you. Leave it there and go to line 4. Hello, this caller. How are you? Go ahead.
By law or to bring out law or that law being existing or election being passing, people being considered people to partake in that makes the democratic thing. When you get 1%, you get 5%, you get 0%, you have the right to take. Look at all that one is the law people to exercise their right. So any kind of way you want to, as far as we concern, any party people are still on, we are going to carry Josh Yaba and CDC return to the now. The deep between Unity Party next year. All we know is thank you.
I'll leave it there and go to this other caller. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
My name is Dalsin Tido, joining from VOA.
Go ahead.
I thank you and my brother Austin so much for your supplement discussion tonight. You see, what I want to tell these men like there, one is Jeremiah Kun, 2 is Richie Namwe Kun.
But when the vice president is speaker, you referring to as the men in Israel.
How come you have to give it
No, but put title to the men. I post no respect there.
You know the men get titles.
I talking to the men in Israel. No, you gotta call him honorable. We don't respect honorable title on the show, but you call him, vice president Kun. I mean, vice president Kun, speaker Kun, no problem. You don't have to call him honorable.
Hello? This caller on line 1. Hello, your name and where you joining us from? Go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. Junkies.
Welcome.
How you doing?
By God's grace, I'm guided. No.
I will take it tomorrow. So I will have time for this. Don't take it for the show, Austin. Or do you go for Wally? I'm in my way too. So I listen to Austin talking about Morocco country and Morocco country president, right?
Yeah, Botswana president.
Okay, Botswana president.
Yeah, Gideon Boku.
Okay, so tell you that the man care for his citizen. The man care your duties to perform what the your duty. It's not lost here. But when president, when you go, they say, don't matter, when you passing, when they backing at you, don't matter, they are told, not human being. Can you imagine? Seriously, I cried, reported that you can read newspaper, you can listen to radio, but you can tell you, you can talk at you can listen to BBC, but you can listen to broadcast. But you see, I see platform on broadcast and tell you, say, they want to day into broadcast, I did my best. They who can tell you in a Facebook person. This is a telling them to read newspaper. So say about it, and in that plan, they say you got a good asset. They saw an asset clean. They like me backing. Because I was saying grandpa. They like me backing. So, to tell us that, it's telling people, say, go do your job. Go do that job. You say you want to do that job, go do it.
Yeah.
You don't that you have people on the ground, you have people overseas, that you can make possible to carry the baby for the women's job. But you even really one single woman job for us in this country. But you take it for a job. When you see a people say, I never it's a for us to eat. So when people taking job for the rest of the day, they contact with your job. You go and say they will pay money. Don't come when you have to say, okay, we agree. When you keep going, you say, I like the way you're supposed to eat. Can you imagine? You see, they care for us. They care for us. They're going to put it around. They must always say us for level that you keep the power with lie and you will say power with lie. And how you live from there? They made a country, they can never say, okay, in the country, they will drink dirty water and their water and they won't go into the day. You didn't see that you carry, you know what to drink. So you can say, no water to drink. All the way, rain for it, no worry. All the way, rain for it, water, we go to them. Also, say, my friend Mo Ali, my friend Mo Ali, my friend Mo Ali, no water in the country. This is like a friend. If I want my water, anybody, if I can make a guy try it. That's why I don't water. Yeah, coming up. That they say you are all open to no, they will talk for a boss. They don't want for you. But it's like a best friend.
Please, my brother.
Leave my brother. They all want it. They all want it. Get up for my like a friend again. Pass up, wait. No, I let it. The man is a woman. It's a woman.
You say what? What did you say, Jana?
A woman is a woman, man.
Who?
But you say your friend.
Who? You say I'm not getting you.
I'm saying get up, come on. You say who?
Get it?
Yup. Oh, okay. You know what get it, come on.
No, Masi, no,
Good evening, Johnny Morris.
Yes, man, Penu, welcome.
Federal Bar.
Oh, Federal Bar, welcome.
Concern Library for Justice.
Yeah.
Donkey, thank you very much. Johnny Morris, about Richard Cole and Thomas Fala. Let me tell you, no sin will unpunished. No sin will unpunished. Richard Cole saying for Southeast, when the Kissy make and use him to go against a full Southeast brother, they say he wants to go speak up because he's too desperate for power. Telling James Cole to go and block the way he speak up to block and the speaker door and take a chair and get to City Hall and tell when he will be sad when he budget. Every weekend report taking a budget, 7 more when they go to all state. They make up for the 2-year experience. That makes a country only in 7 years. At report in Calamity or 7 money. Let me tell you, everything that they're doing now, we take go and come down to remove it. they will eat money. Joseph Oka will get the money. Good. Instead of your parents, the people let the rank with the never teach the money and they will more to pay a piece. So, what's the top of Farah? And not the last time put a gown to Farah. That gown and put on Farah. Market today, some of our speaker. They never make sure everyone will come for Fuya. They never really come out for Fuya. In a care for the people when they told you not talk. In a care, some of our speaker before it came in. Let me tell you now. Go back and you will teach the money. You will move out there for them. You will ask for him and they are just going to put it there. We will make sure the 49% of our saying is life saying money flowing now. Money going from to play in the net. Passing through the air for which of law because they were market for natural July, they will remove that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was Victoria Bar from Johnsonville.
Yeah, junkies, we have to go.
So it was good. It was good. Those that called, those that sat quietly listening to us, our diaspora followers who always follow us via our social media, YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our online radio. All of you, thanks for following. We'll be here on tomorrow. I'm Junkies Morris. Good night.
You see, there's something I'm going to say tonight in closing. One person can be power.
Oh, you responded to the
one person can be power. Two person can be power.
The attack from the general.
One person can fire. Two person can fire. So
the attack from the general. That's how you responded.
So she's always in fighting.
Always prepared.
And me, I wanna get fighting, baby. So now over. But you see, there are certain things we're not going to allow on the show anymore. It's abolished.
Completely.
They didn't make that pronouncement, but I think we have to make that pronouncement tonight. Yes. And we'll emphasize that tomorrow and moving forward. There are certain things that are abolished on this show.
The personality clash, abolished.
You can call and deal with any government official.
The issues.
You can call and disagree with the president. But one thing we'll not allow or condone on this show moving forward is to start calling people condescending names. There are certain expressions will not be condoned here, and we have to be clear about that. This is Freedom FM. It's going to remain Freedom FM. It's going to remain a platform that will speak, that will advocate for the voiceless, for the ordinary people, but we will not allow the ordinary people to also abuse the platform. I always emphasize that when campaign comes, we will run the campaign. It's time for governance, and we should hold the government's feet to the fire.
Focusing the issues.
Focusing the prioritizing on the issues. The issues. Nobody will call anybody name on the show. No. Nobody calling anybody name on the show. So I know some people will get vexed, but they will get adjusted. Yeah. Nobody calling people name on the show here. No, we are not allowing that one. You see that Austin Kawa announced it. On the show, nobody calling anybody names on the show. If you call people names on the show, we will disqualify you from participating on the show for that night. But nobody called anybody names on the show. We call you, go straight to the issue. You won't deal with the performance of the person, go ahead and deal with the performance of the person. No issue. Invectives, calling people names that do not represent them, we're not going to use that. We're not going to condone that. We're not going to entertain that. And you can take my complaint to the manager or the CEO. When they call me, I will go there. I will justify to the manager or the CEO. Yeah. So we have to go. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. It was nice having you. It's always a pleasure having all of you honor our voices. And we shall be back at tomorrow by God's grace. But until then, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective areas. My name is Austin Kawa, Junkies Morris here, and we shall be back at tomorrow by God's grace. Until then, good night.